Hello and welcome to Table Talk. I'm your host Karen Wilson, and I would like to welcome to the show Mr. Josh Roberts, who is the Sanitation Department Director for Warren County, and Mr. Blaine Wilcher, who is with the Health and Welfare Committee of the County Commission. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you for having me.
Blaine, you're a frequent guest of ours as we go through several of the different duties that you oversee on the Health and Welfare Committee. And Josh, you're new to the job, so we're going to learn a lot here about all that encompasses the Sanitation Department. So if you don't mind, tell me about some of the job functions of the Sanitation Department. Blaine, you're welcome to jump in there too, since he's new. Go ahead.
We service 12 sites around the county. We've got 12 centers that we fully service. We change the boxes out when they get full. We've got front loader bins that we change out, aluminum can, recyclables that we service all the centers. I got 3 truck drivers that run full time. I myself run a truck when needed.
Okay, so you're basically maintaining, of course, I guess you have to oversee all the employees that are at the centers.
Yes, ma'am. I've got around 30 employees.
So that was going to be my question about where, how many you have. You said there's 12 around the county. And where are some of them located? Okay,
I've wrote down a few where I won't leave nothing out. We've got one in town at Fairgrounds. We've got one in Rock Island. We've got one in Campaign, Green Hill Community, Starlight Community, Earlyville, Morrison, Smart, Centertown, Viola, Fairview, and Midway.
Now, I can remember years ago, you didn't have places like this. You just had to burn your garbage and stuff like that. That was the olden days.
I didn't say it.
Well, that was before we knew better.
Right.
But these opened up. Blaine, do you know about what time? Was this the 90s or so?
Yeah, it
I
seems
believe.
like but right about the time we got out of school, I remember starting to do that. Of course, most everybody's like me. We're only familiar with the one that we use. I use the Fairgrounds. It's closest to my house. But each community, more or less, basically 12 districts, has a convenience center in their district, and so they're familiar with those. They're probably more familiar with those people that work there than they are with anybody else in the county. And so they see us on a regular basis. They see me usually every Monday.
Yeah, they probably have their customers coming in. Yeah. Basically, it's a free service with when you pay your county taxes. That's one of the places, I guess, that our tax money goes to.
Right. Well, and that's something else that is kind of comes up. It comes up every now and then. Is about out of county trash. That's. A few years ago, we wanted to try to do something to try to prevent that, because what happens is we have to pay for those for that trash to be hauled off. And if you have people that are not living here in Warren County taking their trash to one of the sites, then obviously we, the taxpayers, are paying for that. And that comes up occasionally, and we really haven't found a good way to address it.
Yeah, it's hard to just judge that by looking at people's license plates and things, because that's not a sign that they live here or not.
Right.
So, very good. Well, let's talk about recycling. What does the county currently offer in the way of recycling, and what is our average recycling rate?
Okay, we recycle batteries, plastic, oil, electronics. We recycle tires every Wednesday at the main office. We recycle cardboard, aluminum cans, metal, newsprint, and any loads going to waste away, we recycle that also. That keeps the household trash out of the landfill. Okay,
very good. And Blaine, can you tell us about, what our recycling rate is right now?
It's below 20%. We're having an issue that is not uncommon with other counties, in that not a lot of people want to take recyclables at this point. And so we're struggling to find someone that does, And it's unpopular to say, but there is a lot of the recyclables, including newsprint, that's going to the landfill because we don't have anybody that wants it. We've even given it away for a span of time just because it was better to give it to a recyclable company than to take it to the landfill. And even that has stopped.
So what is the issue with finding? Is it just not profitable for the recycles?
Probably. I mean, you know, it's and there, you know, and it's a government situation where there's probably a lot of regulations that you have to follow, and it's probably not easy for someone to get in that business either and meet all the demands and the standards. So if we knew how to fix it, we would have fixed it
Yes.
last week, wouldn't we?
And contamination is the number one key to this. People that's contaminating the recycles, they're hurting it altogether.
Right.
And
right.
I see that daily.
Give them an example.
Yeah.
Josh.
Well, like aluminum can box, for instance, people throw their vegetable cans, that is metal, that you buy in grocery stores. People, they'll clean it out good and everything, thinking that it's aluminum, but it's not. So what I got to do, I got to go get that, dump it, go through it to be able to sell it. Same as plastic. When you throw your plastic in the plastic bin and you leave your plastic lid, that's a different kind of plastic. That's contaminated the whole load.
So we
Newsprint.
have to learn a little bit about the codes on the cans and the plastic as
Yes.
far as what's acceptable.
Cardboard, for instance. If you buy a new TV over the weekend and you don't take the plastic out of it and the styrofoam and you bring it to me and you put it in my compactor, that contaminates the whole load when we
Wow.
dump it. Yeah.
So
And they can turn that load down, and I have to haul it back and dump it out of the landfill or go through it. Yeah.
wow, so we need to learn about, and do they have a sheet, you know, because I know you probably, as far as plastics go in the recycling, do they have the codes up at the
Yes.
recycling centers?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and I think me and Josh have talked about it at one point that, and probably maybe another month or so when Josh can kind of, if he can ever get kind of settled in a little bit. It's been kind of a blur the first few months.
Right.
But I think it would be a good thing for us to maybe come up with some kind of handout that maybe we could pick a Saturday a month to where everyone that comes to the convenience centers, we could give them that handout, and it tells all that. You know, 9 out of 10 people won't read that, but there'll be a few that will, and that's kind of that would kind of start educating people on some of those things that they just don't understand because they've never really thought about it.
Well, maybe we'll have a recycling
Yeah.
table talk, and we can put some examples
That's a
out
good
here
idea,
of
yeah.
That would be great. I
of
mean,
different,
really.
because you know you can
Yeah.
tell by the feel of the plastic bottle and things like that on what kind it is and whether
Yeah.
it's acceptable
Right.
or not. So it's just public education, and we're just starting here to learn about that. So where do our recyclables end up that you are able to?
Okay. Our cardboard goes to Coffee County, and our electronic, they go to Knoxville, Tennessee. A company comes down and gets them. We do not have to haul them to them. They come down from Knoxville. Our tars, they go to Nashville, and our aluminum cans, our metal, our batteries, they all go to Southern Central to be recycled, and our oil goes to Nashville as well.
Okay, good
Yeah.
deal, good deal. So they're putting all that stuff, different companies are
Right.
recycling
Yes.
that, and
That is all being recycled. Yes.
great,
Well, and also we want to mention we have to pay for that.
true.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
it's not free. In other
No.
words, our department has to pay for that.
Yeah.
You know, if it doesn't go to the landfill, if we're able to get somebody to recycle it, we have to pay, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's costing us all.
But it's still better
It's still
to
better,
do that
yes,
than for
yes.
it to go to the
Yes.
landfill
Yes.
or the
exactly.
ocean or wherever
Yeah.
it eventually ends up. So,
Exactly,
and we'll
exactly.
talk
Our
about
oil
that.
and our tires we are paying for, like Blaine said. Yeah.
Now, I know I have done the river cleanup several years now, and there's lots of tires that we pull out of there. Is there a fee for people to take their tires to the recycling place?
If you're a Warren County citizen and you do not have a business, if you're just the citizen, we allow you to bring 10 for free at no
Okay.
charge. Anything over 10 is $1 a piece.
And that's not bad.
No.
No.
So there's no
No.
reason to throw your tires in the
no,
river.
$1 is
Uh-huh.
nothing when it comes to what we're paying to, to dispose of them.
Right.
Recycle them.
Right. And those tires can be put to all kinds of good
Oh, yeah,
use.
they make all
mulch
kind of
and-
stuff out of
Yeah,
them,
all
yes.
kinds of good things. So Blaine, I guess let's talk about the future of recycling. How would you like to see that grow in Warren County?
Well, I mean, education, I think, is the biggest part of it. And at the same time, we have to be able to take it and actually, recycle it. And that's the problem that we've got right now. If we educate people, we're still going to be probably in a lot of ways held up because of the fact that we don't really have anywhere to take a lot of it. So there's stuff that's got to happen above me and Josh, in other words.
Yes.
That's going to have to open this up, probably from the government on down to make it where, everybody thinks about recycling. It's just, it's something that we're going to have to be
A lot of
made to
talk
do.
about it,
Yes.
but
It's
really,
You gotta have somewhere to take it.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Right.
Yes.
You have to have a buyer, or you have to have somebody to take it.
so it may take the state or U.S. government to get involved to open up some avenues for the recyclables
Yeah.
to go.
This problem, it's worldwide, and I hope they fix it.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. Trash disposal is such a growing concern. In the U.S. and globally, they talk about just how many, billions and trillions of pounds of trash. Where does our trash end up here in this area if we take it to to your
We,
centers?
as a county, we've got a contract with Southern Central Iron and Metal. They run a trash transfer station. We haul it to them. It costs us $44.50 a ton when we pull across their scales. We dump it there at the transfer station, and it's getting hauled to Ray County to the landfill. But that is not up to us. We've got a contract with Southern Central. We pay Southern Central $44.50 a ton.
So they take all trash, though, not just metal or anything like that.
They take,
everything.
yes,
Right.
yes.
We just
Okay.
try to prevent from having to do that by, segregating what we can
Yeah.
that we're able to actually recycle.
Okay, good deal. Well, that's interesting to know where it ends up. So are things on the local level, that we can do to prevent waste or to help with the problem? Just as far as I'm at home and I'm cleaning out my garage and I've got lots of stuff, in there. What can I do to keep all these things out of the landfill?
Well, one thing is, instead of throwing it away, you could take it to Goodwill. There's other ways to get rid of stuff that you don't need, and that's of course, you probably you'll be seeing this through the years. Christmas is always a big time at the dump,
Oh, yes.
because what happens? We all get new. We get new clothes, we get new electronics, whatever it is, we get new, and so we throw away the old. And so typically around that time of year, you start seeing a line. Well, if you've ever been to the dump, the day after Christmas, well, usually a couple of days after Christmas, it's a line because everybody is getting rid of everything that's old. A lot of that stuff is not bad, it's just they don't want it anymore.
Right.
And I think it just goes back to the mentality that you need to just try to think about the fact that this is not just going to go away.
And can someone else
It's going
use this?
Yeah, it's going to
Yeah.
be buried somewhere,
Right.
and take hundreds and thousands of years to degrade. So, reuse it,
Yeah.
or find another purpose for it. And like Josh touched on earlier, about the different kinds of plastics, just take a few minutes to think about, taking the top off that bottle. If you're going to recycle, if you have a recycle bench at your house, just take the top off. Separate out your plastics. It may cost you to have to have an extra bin or two, but if you're going to recycle, really you need to make it
Do
count.
it the right way, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And we don't want to contaminate the whole load, definitely. We
No.
want to do it to where it's easy for you all and don't want to have to haul that load back because of contamination and stuff.
I would like to mention too, I didn't cover this, we was talking about it earlier, cat food cans. They are aluminum, but I cannot process them in with aluminum cans. So that's something I would like to.
Are there some other examples that we need to think about, I guess?
Really, the cat food cans, the vegetable cans like we talked about earlier.
What about leaving the labels on things? Do we need to be taking those off?
No, not necessarily on aluminum.
Uh-huh,
No,
okay.
most of that is made on the can.
Okay.
It's painted on the can, yes.
Right.
Like tin foil, that's not aluminum. Sausage and biscuit wrappers, you've seen them.
Uh-huh,
People throw them in there, that's not aluminum.
right.
Yeah,
What
really
about
aluminum cans only.
food contamination? Like, say you've got a styrofoam plate that you've had your dinner on. Is that recyclable even though it's been, I didn't think
No.
it was, okay.
No.
No.
It's just things that really kind of are still clean and
Yeah.
can be
Yes.
put through the process
If-
and not contaminated.
Yeah, if you take an aluminum can and you wash it out and you clean it, that's clean, you know, because it's been used, of course.
Right,
Like a plastic jug. If we were being able to recycle plastic and you washed that jug out, yes, it's been used and it can be recycled, but you have to wash that out.
okay,
Yes.
yes.
And another thing that would help us a whole lot is Waste Away is a good example. If something would happen with Waste Away where they would get a huge contract, either here in the U.S. or in another country, they actually take all waste and make things out of it. That's really where the future's at.
Right,
Yeah.
They're just it's just they're still
Getting
really in the
those
startup
contracts.
stages, and that's really the future, is being able to use all our waste for other purposes, and we're just not there yet.
no, lots of talk about it. You see it everywhere you go, but it's not quite caught up with all the information that
Yeah.
we hear about it. So I guess, Mr. Hillis must be kind of you've taken his place out there. I see he's had a building name at big shoes to fill is what I'm getting at. What's it been like taking over from someone like that?
It has been a learning experience for sure, but I enjoy it and I'm ready to move the county forward. And I feel like there's a lot of area that we need to get better on, and with a great committee, we can do it. Yeah, our Blaine, he serves on the sanitation. He's the health and welfare chairman. They're excellent to work with. And for me, coming in new, that's been great. Where I could call Blaine, ask him questions, him help me, and I appreciate that, Blaine. Yeah, the committee I work with, great people to work with, and all the county commissioners. So really, it's not been terrible bad. I'm just learning and trying to better Warren County.
Right, and I'm sure
sanitation.
Mr. Hillis did a fantastic job and laid a wonderful foundation.
He
for
helped me a
you.
lot also. I had 40 hours with Steve, and I'll never forget them 40 hours. I will never forget them. Steve helped me more than anybody as far as learning the sanitation department. If it hadn't been for him, it'd been very difficult on me.
And I guess the sanitation department is kind of something that we all tend to take for granted. When you first got
Right.
onto the commission, as a commissioner, was that a surprise to you? I guess as far as how much they were responsible for.
Yeah, I mean, we don't, like I said, we don't think about anything other than ourselves a lot of times, and we just see what we want to see. When we take our garbage off to wherever our site is, that's all we think about. We don't think about there's other sites and how much actual tonnage that we're taking in each month, and that's we call them convenience centers, and really it's really a good name, because
Yes.
imagine
Yeah.
what it would be like if we didn't have those convenience centers. It wouldn't be convenient at all.
Right.
Because you'd have to go back to what we talked about earlier about burning your trash or finding a sinkhole. You remember the sinkholes?
Yes, we don't want to go back to those
So,
days.
So, and one thing to touch on Steve Hillis and him retiring that I wanted to touch on is Steve, when he was training Josh, he let him know that it was a hands-on job, and he let you have some examples of that. I know
Yep.
that first week,
Yeah.
and that's one thing I like about Steve and I like about Josh is they both are hands-on individuals. They don't care to get their hands dirty. They'll drive a truck, they'll work on a truck or a compactor or whatever it is. And it will be coming up as a subject soon, I'm sure. But Josh is going to have a secretary, and the reason that he's going to have a secretary is that very reason. You can't put 38 years experience in, how old are you, 25?
25.
You can't
Be
put
26
38
this
years
year.
of experience in a 25-year-old's head.
Right.
And so there's only one way to learn. has to do it.
Well,
and so that's what he's willing to do.
Exactly. And you've got things that need to be they've got to be able to call somebody when a compactor's torn up or maintenance has to be done, and you can't be driving your truck and remember all of those things
just like
too.
Blaine was talking about, as far as secretary with Steve Hillis hands-on. When Steve wasn't in that office, who answered the phone? Nobody. So when somebody called and had a question, they didn't get no answers. There's nobody there. So the county commission has done excellent by approving that. It's going to help the county. It sure is. Anytime somebody's got a question, they can call. We'll get them an answer. There'll be somebody there to answer that phone.
Right.
Well, we appreciate the convenience centers and having a place like that to take our things, and we hope more people will kind of educate themselves on recycling in our area. I know you hear a lot about that in the news, in the media, and hopefully everything will catch up to where that's more of a convenience for all of us to do that.
And I always say, if they want to, they can always call Josh and talk trash.
Anytime. I'm available anytime, day or night. You call me.
Okay.
And if you have an issue, please call me and we'll resolve it.
Right, because you want the convenience centers to be clean and
That's
well
exactly,
maintained
yeah.
and those types
That's
of
our
things.
job, and that's what we aim to do.
Well, very good. Well, I appreciate you both coming on the show and giving us an education about something that we just, like you said, we don't think a whole lot of it. It's something that we very much take for granted. And I will say that's our show for today. Thank you so much for joining, and we hope you enjoyed and learned a little something about something new that you don't think a whole lot about. We will see you next week again for more Table Talk.